What's up, my keks? And what I have for you here is a little bit of a candy bar. I thought about this for a while now. I wanted to do a guide series, and this is where we start doing it now. If you don't know me, I'm JJ, actually SuperJJ. I'm rank 1 EU currently, and where could you learn better, right? Since I'm the best. No, I actually think we can all learn here because I will probably see some of the mistakes myself. So what I did, what I want to start doing, I want to talk over games in detail I played on ladder. This is one of my games where I'm actually going for rank 1 EU. I think Tyler took it from me again, and I have like a little text file. I will post that below the video. And this is like just a general guideline. I don't want to drag it too long, so I just go quickly over the turns. I want to keep these videos between 10 and 20 minutes if possible. And when you can ask me below the video, yo JJ, what about this? What about this? What about that? What's important for me here is simplicity. So you guys get a simple idea how to play heroes, and I can answer your questions. That's pretty much what I want to do here. So you get the text file below, and I will just start going over the turns, right? So here, first of all, we have the hero pick, and I will just go quickly what I think here or what I thought. So I think Cirella is not so good when Murlocs are in because her Alec just gets, or her body just gets poisoned away. Also, like, she's worse when Max are in because when she runs into these Divine Shield taunts, or she just gets killed by those huge deflectos. I like her a lot when those two tribes are out, though. It's just like with pirates as well, she can be good as well because you can just cycle the pirates through. Stonecrash I like. I think he's also a top hero. I like Stonecrash more when tokens are out because when your opponents play without a token curve and you can always move it out. And I also think there are just Divine Shields missing for Stonecrash here, since Dragons are out in Elementals. Elementals are also kind of nice for him, since they are nice to eat. They have usually lots of stats, so that makes him a little bit worse here. And then you have Daryl. I think what's super, super important for Daryl is you want Max in. You either want Max in, or you want Demons in and Murlocs out. The thought process behind that is pretty much that you want to have a good Tavern 1 target to dance on while tokens being in. So why Daryl is nice here, you have Beast and Murlocs and Quillboss. Like Quillboss we have Sunbacon to dance with. And you have the Puppbot in. And you can just dance on the Puppbot, sometimes even on the Mummy. And on Tavern 3 you have the Deflector bots then, which is super good. And this is basically my decision, or my thought process here, where I also pick Daryl. So I have this in a text file. I will post this below the video, guys, so you can just copy it and open it in your games. So it's pretty nice here. So what you do on Tavern 1 here, you just buy the token, go ahead, freeze the other token. And it doesn't really matter who you face here. I basically just do this. And then on Tavern 2, I think this is not so common. I already start dancing, and the main reason here is I do value curve a lot. So I sell and I buy and sell the kitty, and then I just buy the biggest unit just to start winning fights, because this meta is pretty much all about tempo. Since people want to charge up their body meters, sometimes with Daryl you can even get your body on turn 4. So yeah, this is pretty much what you start doing, and then we spam KW in Twitch chat and go ahead. Keep the Mummy frozen, of course, because she got some buffs. And we are happy little wigglers. Go ahead, win the fight because we're the best. And it's pretty amazing. That's why I like Daryl. You win early fights. I think here we have turn 3. And usually what happens on turn 3, you get like, you have one unit you already danced on and 2 other units. So what happens is you buy the unit you don't want to dance on at all, and then you just sell a token and buy either a buffed unit or a unit you also don't want to dance on. So here it's pretty simple. You just buy the mummy and you save that puppet for the future. And now we are already super strong for turn 3. So the early turns of Daryl are pretty simple. I value early strength a lot. I think that's also something which is in this meta very common. Early strength to charge up body meters. So that's what we are doing here. And that puppet will be probably our first big dance target. He will be probably frozen for a while, which is quite common that you have in the early game, either a puppet or a chroma wing sometimes. Just some good dance target. It shouldn't be totally useless, like a Tide Hunter or something. Something weird. So you just keep winning fights. So here we go. Of course, you could already dance on that puppet here. Just sell free buy the puppet. But I think what's pretty important in general is you should evaluate your own strength and think like, do I need on turn 4 this dance? If the answer is no, you can just wait and greed a little bit and make it bigger in the future. And also what's very important on Daryl is you have to play gold efficient, and you want to have, because with that gold you get more cards in your hand and more dances off. So it's even possible to get the body on turn 4 sometimes, but we're not getting it here. Don't want to drag this unnecessarily into huge lengths here, guys. I don't want to let you see that Dia show. You can watch that in the morning in my streams. So since I value curve, what I usually do here is I just buy level and freeze the puppet. That gives you, on 7 gold, a very nice curve. You get another token. You get another unit to dance with. And that's pretty sweet. Even if you lose the fight against York here, it doesn't even matter. Since with Daryl, you usually go for top 3, top 2. And then you are pretty happy. So that's probably also what I usually do. If I don't do something else here when I'm saying, I'm probably just wiggling and jiggling with my propeller head in the stream again. But we are even still favored there. So we get our buddy here on turn 5. And this is where the fun begins, because turn 5 is very often a dance turn on Daryl. So even though the Quillball is nice here to dance with, I don't think you care too much. You just buy everything and dance on that puppet. What's very important with Daryl, you usually dance, you stop dancing on 4 gold, 7 gold, or 10 gold. The reason for that is that if you finish dancing, you can always roll and buy 1 more unit. So it's all about gold efficiency again. You will see me doing that very often here. So here I have to sell a unit, unfortunately, and my Asher doesn't get the buff. But I actually did this quite often already, like just didn't play the body down and then dance. When I just start dancing, because what's Daryl's strength is just like, in the early game you just have so many stats you're not really beatable. And then the rest of the lobby they kick each other out, and then you're just very often top 3, sometimes even top 2, because you have so much health, because you can take 1 or 2 hits very often. So here, what I have, I buy, I roll, and I buy again, and I get an other dance target. So the Quillbore is nice, since you usually want to dance on Divine Shield targets. And I wouldn't be, it's very important. Being too picky with dance targets on Daryl, that can be your death. So sometimes if there's even just a halfway, like a dance target which is kind of fine, I just pick it. Since I need those dances off. It's super important. You cannot just say, okay, I'm just gonna chill another turn. This is how you lose with Daryl. So that's pretty much my thought process here as well. I'm gonna skip those fights, because if I get unlucky, I usually smash things. And we go to the shop phase again. And what I do here, it's also very straightforward. You just sell here. I probably even sell the Acolyte, since I want to have the space for the Alligator Cat token. And then I try to play curve efficient. It's very straightforward. I just sell those tokens. I go up to 7 gold. I can sell the captain, and then I just go to Tavern 3, and that's usually where you stay as well. You stay on Tavern 3. It has a very simple reason. The reason for that is the shop, like how big the shop gets. Like what you do on Tavern 3, you can perfectly always buy 3 units and then dance on 1 unit. If you level to 4, you can't do that anymore because you get an extra shop unit. I can show you very quick because this is this turn. Middle house is pretty strong already. I think it was XQN there. And here, if you have like 4 shop units, you can always triple buy and dance on 1 unit. If you have 5, as which we will have when you go to level 4, you cannot do that anymore. So your dances get separated, or the dance stats, and you don't want that. So here on Tavern 3, you're pretty happy. You have that pop out again, and you can probably just start dancing again. You just sell the weakest unit, which is the mummy here, because I usually value the taunt. And then I go ahead with the dances. And if you have like questions to any specific situations here in that game as well, because this is mostly not about this game. This game is more like a guideline. Or like it's supposed to show you how it's done. Since every Hearthstone Baragons game is very different. And here you buy another token. You always buy those tokens. It's just like you get 2 dances of 1 card. It's super valuable. It's a 6/6 in stats. And extra like 2 gold. It's super strong. So here you just go ahead. And what happens in those next turns? You're super strong because you danced a lot. People are building their lineups and we're just killing each other. And we have 40 health. And this is why Daryl is our MMR hero. Even George, who usually crushes you at this turn, is not winning. But he will have a very good end game lineup there. So here we go. The next turns are pretty similar. You just search for dance targets. And what we need here is a gem for our Quillbore. The problem is we don't have board space and we don't have a dance target there. Like you could dance on the red, but I think what I also think in this situation is I'm strong enough to be a bit greedy and just search for Divine Shield units. Because in the end, Divine Shield units are so much better to dance on. So here I roll 1 more. I probably sell the mummy because I want to keep the taunt. I'm getting a little bit more value from the green thumb. And the positioning is usually because I use those early units here as Divine Shield proccers, but I also want to make some guides about positioning. So this is that, and I get the Selfless. It's a nice unit since you can buff your huge boys with Divine Shield again. So here we go. He opened with a Ghoul. But we have too many stats, and we just kick York out of the lobby, and this is what it usually happens. People get low health. They try building their lineup, and then they kicked each other out. And you kick some low health people out. And what happens now is you get your body triple. You stay on Tavern 3 because there's no reason to level, as I mentioned earlier. And what I see here, like even the triples you get, they usually don't matter. I probably even just pick the lookout just to get an extra dance unit. And what I see here is like I go for the bird with the selfless, because bird selfless, I will also go over that in another video, is very often something you pick in the end game, since divine shields and poisons, or divine shields in general, they are end game. So I start dancing on that bird. As I said earlier, I don't want to be too picky on dance targets. It's not optimal here, but this like turn 10, 9, or turn 9 and 10, this is like where the lobbies usually dance out. And you don't want to get smacked here for 20, you want to get as strong as possible. And just, if you get a dance, which is kind of nice, you take it. So here, I keep my Acolyte as a taunt because I still think it's valuable, since I want to protect my selfless hero. And then I pick any unit here, just to keep on dancing in the future. Also, I'm usually quite a boomer on stream. The problem with me is like I'm overthinking things like crazy, and I'm maybe not the fastest Kegwiggle. But I think I have like some decisions, or I make some decisions which give me the edge on the other end, like thought process wise, since I'm smarter. But you get the point. So the pirate you usually buy because you can dance for free with that. And what I do here, I just keep on dancing. I think this is very, very interesting here because against George you want ghoul, right? But you don't want to sell your selfless because you need the selfless because of the bird. So I just buy that gem and I don't even put it on my quill board since I want the ghoul against George anyways. Also what I start doing here, I don't prioritize dancing over everything because at some point it shifts, right? You want to go also for fight adjustments. So against George, ghoul is just so good that I say, okay, I don't need Divine Shield on my own unit anyways. So I buy that quill board here and buff the selfless since I don't want the selfless to die from the ghoul. So I put ghoul first, bird second, selfless third, and then I get Divine Shield buffs on my units after I killed George's Divine Shield. Which is usually happening here, yeah. And then I'm preparing for the next bigger dance. Yeah. How is this going here even? Yeah, I just, like, as I said here, I just kill his Divine Shields. We go ahead. And on we go. Not even too bad, because against usually against George, you're not doing well. But here we're even tying. And as you see, we are already top 4 with 40 health. So you might end up top 3 here because George and Millhouse high rolled both. But what we are doing here is just we search dance targets and we just found them, as you see. You can actually just dance on those. It doesn't even matter how you distribute the stats because you will keep all of those units. So here what you usually do, you could even dance on that selfless. But I think what's correct, you just, yeah. You just dance on the bird or the selfless. Like in this case, it might even be better if you have double bird in the end, but if you get a triple, you just pick it. So here you just go ahead. You don't even... What I was thinking about here, and I think I messed this up a little bit. I was thinking, how do you get an easy 5-drop here with the triple? And I should have probably just leveled up here without the final dances. I was playing a bit too afraid, and you go for 5 drops here, not for 4s. I think going for 4 drops here is quite horrible. You go for 5 drops so you can hit 7 or Spore. I think that's super key, getting poison units there. When you could have just played triple bird, selfless, and just go full poison scam, which would have been super nice. I messed it up here a little bit. But I think going for this line is okay. But I'm playing super gold inefficient here. Sometimes I do just things to not boomer in the end because what I have in mind is like I rather do an inefficient turn or like a very stupid looking turn, but I wanted to serve a direction. So let's put it like this. I rather admit a mistake and do the suboptimal play instead of not admitting the mistake and just following with the same line, if it makes sense. Rather having a suboptimal play following a good direction instead having an optimal play following a bad direction. That makes sense. I'm sometimes a little bit stupid, guys, so don't take me too serious, but I think that makes kind of sense. So what you're doing here is just like you're trying to optimize your lineup. Here I'm going for the 5-drop then. I mean, these are the cases where you actually go to level 4, like very late game. But we are already top 3, so George. Or, Daryl already served his purpose. And I think we are very happy then. I don't want to drag this video into unnecessary lengths. Because what you do here is basically... you just continue with the turns. It goes a little bit longer. I usually search for poison here, or I dance on that module in this case, try to get a bit stronger. but you're just trying to get the second place in. I put the module here on the pub bot just for the stats, not for the Divine Shield. Which makes sense since you have board space problems here. You end on the Ground Shaker then, but the problem is if you don't end on the Ground Shaker here, you're gonna be board locked next turn, which you would like to avoid. You probably put Ground Shaker up as a bumper, exactly. So yeah, here, George is super strong already. Millhouse as well. I think even in the next fight, like George didn't die because he won against Millhouse, a very unfavorable fight. But yeah, Daryl is just not a lobby winner. Daryl is an MMR gainer, guys. I also don't think these fights and the positioning are super important anymore because it's clear what we are going for. So I don't want to drag this video into unnecessary lengths. At this point, we had like 21 minutes. Pretty alright. I will drop you the text file below. I think, where was it? Here. This is like a general guide. I'm trying to improve this with time. This is all very easily made, like self-made stuff, guys. But I hope you nevertheless enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow in my stream or whatever. KW, guys. Have a good day.